Well, hey everybody, and welcome back. Right, so apparently the Scottish Session Court has, again in conjunction with the fucking SNP and an activist or two, have decided to take up a challenge to say that Boris, if he doesn't stick to the Ben Act, the Ben Bill, or the Surrender Act as it's called, and ask for an extension to see if he could be arrested or charges could be brought against him. So let's dive into this and have a quick look through now. Scottish judge to decide if Boris Johnson can be jailed over no deal exit. Well, I don't think he can, and we'll discuss that shortly. A legal challenge will be heard in Court of Sessions in Edinburgh today to consider if Boris Johnson can be imprisoned if he pursues a no-deal Brexit. The action, which is being led by SNP MP Joanna Cherry, of course it fucking is, businessman Dale Vince and Jolyn Monham QC, will ask Scotland's highest civil court to grant an interdict that would stop the Prime Minister from not complying with the terms of the Ben Act. Well, see, this is the Court of Sessions is the one that put through that Boris Johnson's proroguing of Parliament was illegal, even though there has no precedence set for that. They put it through to the UK Supreme Court, which, as far as everybody I know is aware, is unconstitutional in the UK, and they've given themselves more powers than they actually have or deserve. But anyway, moving on. No, Joanna Cherry fucking says it all, doesn't it? The legislation, which was introduced by Labour MP Hilary Benn, was passed by the UK Parliament last month following claims the PM would ignore the wishes of elected politicians and deliver a no-deal Brexit. Yeah, but they're ignoring the wishes of fucking all the people who fucking elected them to leave. We were told back in 2016 we would leave, deal or no deal. We knew that then, we accepted that then, we voted to leave then, and you still don't respect it. So why the fuck should anybody respect anything that you parliamentary fucksticks say? Anyway, the petitioners who brought the case to Edinburgh Court want judges there to consider fining or imprisoning Mr Johnson in the event of him disregarding the Act. Again, I'm going to come back to that and I'm going to explain why I think that's bullshit, but okay. The PM has repeatedly said that no matter what the circumstances, he will leave the EU. The UK will leave the EU on the 31st of October. Ms Cherry said we're in less than 30 days away from the Brexit deadline, and rhetoric and actions of Boris Johnson carry all the hallmarks of the government pushing ahead towards a catastrophic no-deal Brexit. No, it won't be, you fucking fat cunt. Oh, anyway, we know it will hit the economy, cost thousands of jobs and harm people's livelihoods. Not as bad as you think out. We go into WTO terms, which we were on before. I guarantee the people who voted to join the European Union, this is not what they joined up for. They joined to enter a single market for fucking trade, not this. Like much of what Boris Johnson says, there's a gulf of truth between the obvious facts of the matter and what he and his government have been saying. Oh, fucking really? That's rich coming from the SNP, you fucking lying fat fuckstick. The SNP cannot be... Oh, sorry. He's talking about Boston. He cannot be trusted, and this court action is about ensuring he abides by the law, which yous are all going against since you're breaching democratic law. And you're going against what we voted for. If Boris tries to defy the law and divide both the Holyrood and Westminster Parliaments are crashing out of the EU, we wouldn't crash out. Stop saying that. Without a deal, then we're calling on the Scottish courts to uphold the law. No. Here's where the problem lies with this. EU law supersedes UK law. And we are still in the European Union, and this is no deal is part of the terms on their side as well. So Boris Johnson will probably not be jailed, or this will actually have no fucking consequence whatsoever, because UK law is superseded by EU law. So there we go. And they have a cheek to talk about upholding any kind of law or being moral, or they can't be trusted, or Boris can't be trusted. Nobody in opposition to Boris Johnson's Parliament can be trusted. No SNP member, no Labour member, no Liberal Democrat, and even some members of the Tory party who are no longer Tory members, like that fucking soy boy reject Rory fucking Stewart. All of the opposition to our current government, Boris Johnson's government, can get fucked. Anyway, moving on. Last week, the UK Supreme Court unanimously ruled that Johnson's attempt to shut down Parliament was unlawful. No, it wasn't. He didn't even have to give the Queen a fucking reason. He just could have asked to shut it down, and This rule from the UK Supreme Court is the biggest pile of shite I've ever fucking heard, simply because we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of precedence for a Prime Minister proroguing Parliament for whatever reason he fucking chooses, to be honest. As I said, the Queen, he doesn't have to give the Queen a reason. In her charter, she has agreed to fucking abide by whatever the Prime Minister says. He asks her to do it, she will agree with it. Right? That's what it is. That's what it is. So, this was bullshit and them giving themselves more power than they have. Mr. Morgan said this is a very simple case. Our Supreme Parliament elected from 46 million has directed the Prime Minister elected from 160,000 to seek an extension. That is the law and no man or woman is above it. But that isn't the problem. The fact is we voted, 17.5 million people voted in the largest democratic referendum ever, and the largest referendum in the history of Britain. More people turned out for this than any other vote in any other circumstance ever. And you've been ignoring their vote ever fucking since. Every media establishment, everybody who is against leaving the EU has been lying, manipulating and twisting the fucking truth. And it's all been proven over and over again that they lie. Simply. And Mr. Morgan, the QC, should know fucking better. But then again, he is a fucking barrister, QC. He is a fucking liar anyway. Because they're all just as much criminals as fucking criminals are. And I know that. I come from a family of lawyers. Trust me, my family are all criminals too. Well, that seems to be that. Pile of shite. As I said in this video, EU law supersedes UK law. And that means whatever fucking bullshit notion they put round to get Boris in jail for fucking leaving the EU without a deal, right, is superseded by EU law that states no deal is part of the deal, part of the condition for leaving of the Article 50 Act of the Lisbon Treaty. They should really fucking read, because not one of them have a clue about the law at all, in any shape or form. They really fucking should. They are all morons. But anyway, thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see how this one fares out. But as I said, I think this is another fucking shit chance by fucking the retarded fucksticks of the SNP to undermine the democratic will of the biggest referendum vote in the history of Britain. I'll catch you all in the next one.